Hello and welcome to this tutorial on venture capital and private equity research with S&P Capital IQ. This video will cover a brief introduction to venture capital and private equity and an overview and demonstration on how to use S&P Capital IQ, including how to create an account and how to locate VC and PE information. To begin, it might be helpful to define venture capital and private equity. Both refer to investment opportunities in the private capital market. However, there are some key differences that are worth noting. Venture capital is financing typically given to startup companies or small businesses with high growth potential. In contrast, private equity refers to capital invested in mature companies that are already established and not publicly traded. Unfortunately, financial information for startups and private companies can be challenging to find because they're not required to file audited financial reports to the Securities and Exchange Commission. However, S&P Capital IQ compiles VC and PE information on companies and investment firms that may help you with your research. So here's a little bit of information about what S&P Capital IQ has to offer. S&P Capital IQ is a database that is used by professional and individual investors and provides extensive company financial and valuation information, as well as data on venture capital and private equity transactions. Their coverage of private capital markets begins in 1999 and includes domestic and international companies. Due to the inherent lack of public disclosures surrounding the private capital market, S&P Capital IQ employs a multitude of sources and techniques to maintain their database. According to their posted research methodology, S&P Capital IQ includes a complete review and synthesis of publicly disclosed sources such as the SEC filings, press releases, and news articles. They also work directly with sponsors to verify existing information or gain access to details that have not been publicly disclosed. To get started, visit the Parish Library homepage at lib.purdue.edu/library/mgmt for management. From there, click on the List of Databases link, which will take you to our A to Z list of databases filtered by business, finance, and economics. You'll find S&P Capital IQ on this list. If you are off campus, make sure to use the database link from this list because it will take you through the library's proxy server. In other words, don't try to access S&P Capital IQ from Google because you'll have issues logging in. Please note too that you'll need to create your own account with this resource. To create an account, simply click on the New User link on the top right corner of the home page. Input your Purdue email address and click Submit. You will then receive an email that will prompt you to complete your account registration. For this video, we will use the RealReal Inc. for our company search example. This company was founded in 2011 by Julie Wainwright, a Purdue graduate, and her company went public fairly recently on June 28, 2019. Thus, we'll be able to see public financials as well as private equity and venture capital data in the RealReal's company profile. In S&P Capital IQ, we can use the top search bar to search for our company, in this case the RealReal Inc. This will take us to the TAre Sheet, which provides quite a bit of useful information right off the bat, including basic company facts, business description, primary industry classification, current and pending investors, prior investors, as well as stock quote and financial information following their initial public offering. On the left menu, there are also other detailed sections that I encourage you to explore. Of particular interest to VC and PE research are the sections on transactions and investors. The M&A private placement link, for example, provides a table of associated M&A and private placements along with buybacks and spinoffs. The private ownership section shows a table of all current, pending, and prior investors, which is a more detailed version of what we see here on the TAre sheet. So let's take a closer look at the M&A private placements transactions. This table includes the announced and closed date of transaction, transaction type, and in this case these are all private placements, a list of buyers and investors, and then the rounds and round type information. Round information may be useful because it can tell you where the company was in its life cycle when they received funding. Series A and Series B are funding rounds for earlier stage companies, while Series C rounds and up are for later stage or more established companies. To see more information on the specific transaction, click on the announced date, which will give you a synopsis of the deal, financing details, and more information on the investors and buyers. If you're curious about this buyer's other investments, you can click on the company name to navigate to their TAre sheet to see more information. S&P Capital IQ also provides a help page if you have questions about what terms mean or how to use this database to find what you're looking for. Let's say that under transaction details, I don't know what convertible equity means. I can click Help. Here we can input convertible equity and click the search icon. Then select the definition entry for private placement, and the definition is listed here. On the main page, you can also ask a question directly to S&P Capital IQ under the Contact Us drop-down menu, or contact your parish librarians. Thank you for watching this tutorial on venture capital and private equity research using S&P Capital IQ. If you have questions about this database, please contact us at the parish library or submit a question using the Ask a Librarian chat service.